The Oak Island team is pursuing a new location for their treasure hunt, aiming to uncover the hidden treasure. They have discovered human bones deep underground, one from Europe and one from the Middle East, after 200 years. The team believes that these bones might be closer than ever old tools, and they are heading straight for the spot where someone may have died to guard the vault deeper than ever. The team began by digging into the infamous Shaft 6 in the 1800s during one of the many failed treasure hunts. They believed that the collapse might have buried the goods, but what they hit next made the legend look tame. In 1861, the Oak Island Association drilled deep into the earth and claimed they struck two treasure chests stacked like a sandwich at around 110 feet down. Before they could high-five each other, the island flooded them out with a man-made flood tunnel, filled the shaft with seawater, turning the operation into a soggy disaster. RP-1 was different, pulling out old iron straps that looked like chest bindings. A pipe stem dated to the late 1600s pushed the timeline back an entire century as RP-2 descended past 100 feet. Things got weird in all the right ways, hitting wood, timbers, and pipes. The broken barrel stave, a thin, curved plank unmistakably from a barrel, fits the story like a glove. The team's strategy now is tight controlled, calculated, and aimed at the precise stretch of tunnel believed to have once carried the treasure before everything fell apart. If it's still intact, it will be the first time in over a century anyone has breached it. The artifacts from RP-1 and RP-2 are undergoing lab analysis. The pipe stem turns out to be Dutch, blowing the timeline wide open. Dutch traders were known for moving coins, spices, and weaponry in bulk, often stashed in barrels. The keg stave and pipe are evidence of movement of intent of people with something to hide, remarking on the island, including a cross, stone carvings, and geometric ratios tied to celestial cycles. The island has been buried with traps and resin, and locals have reported strange activity, including drones flying overhead at night and unmarked boats anchored offshore with high-end scanning tech. Behind the scenes, the lab teams have uncovered protein residue on the bones, possibly a chemical compound found in old preservation methods. This suggests that the buried man was cared for and preserved him with care. The small cross, traced to a mine near the Sinai Peninsula thousands of kilometers away, has been traced to a mine near the Sinai Peninsula. The team works under round-the-clock surveillance, not for safety, but because eyes are watching. They have been contacted by shadowy groups claiming to represent religious archives, and one even offered to buy the bones that never made it past the inbox. As they continue to work, the soil around them warps, and every bone has a voice. Once upon a time, LagIna found himself standing by himself at the perimeter of RP-3, unable to view any plans or maps. He witnessed a man who was far away from his home, buried in silence, and longing to be remembered. At this moment, the island is yelling, and the rest of the world had better start listening. A variety of peculiar things, including old lead crosses, fragments of plaster, broken tools, and equipment that appears to have been taken straight from a British military storage facility, have been extracted by the crews. There are some of these discoveries that have connections to the Knights Templar, while others hint at the existence of covert operations. As the team continues to unearth more and more information, the enigma behind Oak Island continues to surface and become more clear. Since 1762, when the British smashed Havana and recovered vast amounts of treasure, the British monarchy has been involved in a secret treasure hunt. This quest began after the British crushed Havana. The search was conducted on Oak Island, which was located just around the corner and served as an ideal staging area. There are some records from that time period that have disappeared, which suggest that they were buried there by someone. Because of this, individuals dug deeper, and as a result, they found new things and scientific discoveries that could help them further their search. There are secret chambers, vast spaces beneath the surface, and tools constructed of materials that are not often found in that region of the planet that have been discovered by the Oak Island crew. Additionally, they have found a room that has walls that are lined with blackened clay, which may have been used to provide a waterproof barrier or conceal whatever was housed within. The more the crew digs, the more resistance they encounter, which contributes to the growing mystery. There is a lack of funding. The equipment breaks down, rumors are circulating, and there are visits from unknown people who ask an excessive amount of questions, but do not provide any answers. The more they delve into the enigma, the more foreboding it seems. There have been reports of weird energy readings, strange patterns of bones, and sculptures shaped like suns, moons, and stars. Additionally, some people claim to have seen symbols that match ancient rites that were performed for conception or death. The fact that Oak Island was utilized for ceremonies for a very long time before the development of the treasure beliefs would explain a great deal. When it comes to the plot, however, it is not only about buried gold and scary carvings. Some experts are of the opinion that Oak Island served as a central location on a secret map that connected other hidden locations all over the world, ranging from ancient pyramids to underground cities. It is possible that Oak Island is the first break in the wall that will reveal a network of secret history that has been waiting to be revealed. The natural environment does not make it simple for the team to locate something hidden beneath Oak Island. It is possible that it is not gold bars or royal crowns, but it is significant enough for someone to bury it under layers of falsehoods, traps, and years of quiet. At this point, the truth is beginning to emerge, and it is plausible that Oak Island was never hiding riches, but rather hiding history itself.
About their origins and any connections. Moreover, they discover a piece of beveled iron, which agrees nicely with the results of the most recent magnetometry investigation. This implies that the object was formerly a broken antique cutting tool. This finding suggests that human activity may have existed in a location that was previously believed to be devoid of people. In order to further understand the significance of this significant metallic anomaly evidence on Lot 8, the team made the decision to acquire additional excavation licenses and consult with experts. The discovery raises questions regarding its provenance and any connections it might have to other local findings. The scholars are intrigued by these unique items and believe that this particular area may hold some special significance. A large piece of iron with a beveled edge is discovered by the Oak Island crew. It may be a broken piece of the ancient adze, a type of cutting tool. This result is noteworthy because it agrees with a recent magnetometry research conducted by the team, which found a significant metallic anomaly in the same area, the same site where the survey was done. Our interest in further investigation of that area is piqued by the discovery of this tool in a place that was previously believed to be uninhabited. The team plans to first obtain a permit to excavate before speaking with various experts in order to determine the significance of this discovery. The secrets surrounding Oak Island keep getting more complicated as the show follows the journey of full-time treasure hunters through each new season. However, you might get the same results with your own gear. Their discoveries with metal detectors open up hitherto unfathomable vistas for historical inquiry. Always make sure to get permission before hunting anywhere, whether it's on someone else's land or a public space. The team of The Curse of Oak Island found some scientific proof that suggests it's possible the money pit holds a sizable amount of silver. They also found a patch of cement that had traces of gold and other metals, which made them think that the most rare metal in the world, osmium, would be buried somewhere in the ethereal depths of Oak Island. There is an island called Oak Island in the Canadian province of Nova Scotia. The two brothers Marty and Rick Lagena have, for all intents and purposes, dedicated their entire lives to solving Oak Island's enigma and learning its closely guarded secrets, while harboring the hope of unearthing hidden gold on the island. Despite the fact that they had previously spent many years trying very hard to uncover the island's secrets, but making very little headway in their attempts, it appears that their most recent treasure hunting expedition has really taken a fruitful turn. On Oak Island, the Lagena brothers have made a number of important discoveries recently. Some claim that these discoveries have made it possible to access the hidden wealth on Oak Island. This archaeological gem was found thanks to the use of ground-penetrating radar. It was initially thought to be a crossbow bolt, but a specialist in ancient antiquities thinks it might have been a javelin, a type of weapon used by the Romans more than 2,000 years ago. The team finds a metal object that appears to be what they have been looking for since the first episode of the show in the second episode of the 9th season. Additional inspection reveals that the piece only contains a modest amount of gold in its entirety. The secrets surrounding Oak Island keep getting more complicated as the show follows the journey of full-time treasure hunters through each new season. However, you might get the same results with your own gear. Their discoveries with metal detectors open up hitherto unfathomable vistas for historical inquiry. Always make sure to get permission before hunting anywhere, whether it's on someone else's land or a public space. As the team continued their journey through Portugal, they turned their attention to the country and the Templar Knights, while looking for old structures and researching relics that might be connected to Oak Island. Together with Oak Island theorist Corjan Mall and a few local historians, Rick and Alex Lagena, Doug Crowell, and Peter Fornetti visited a number of ancient sites in Portugal. They were led to 3 distinct locations, each of which displayed mounting proof that Oak Island's history is connected in some way to that of Portugal and the Templars. In Tomar, Portugal, there is a church and Templar fortress called Convento de Cristo. It was built in the 12th century. To start their investigation, the group was brought there. Corjan was particularly intrigued by the aqueduct's drainage system, which he thought had served as inspiration for whoever created the Smith's Cove finger drains. The aqueduct drainage